I'm just gonna powder my face down and start filming this video. Hi, how are you guys? Last week, I apologize, I didn't have a video up. I did go to Stagecoach like I was saying in my previous videos, and that was a lot of fun. Now I'm getting sick. I wasn't even gonna have a video up this week, but I felt so guilty and like I want to film. I was going to film yesterday. Today is Friday and I want to get this video up tonight. So this is just going to be a like casual talk through, like chit chat with me. I'm not doing anything special. I already have makeup on from this morning. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just gonna tell you about like Stagecoach and everything that happened because it was a very fun weekend. So I'm just gonna apply this Estee Lauder lip color. I'm also kitten sitting right now for my friend Ziggy. He's so cute. He's like 8 weeks old maybe. So this weekend I went to Stagecoach, right? I left Thursday night and we were supposed to leave. I left with, it was my best friend Alyssa and then our friend, it's like her friend who's my friend now, Krista. We all left on Thursday together. So we were leaving from my friend's house in Granada Hills. I met her at her dad's house there. Krista was going to pick us up and Krista was coming to get us at like 8 o'clock because she had to wait to drop her dog off with somebody who could dog sit for the weekend. So she came and got us and then realized that she left the Stagecoach tickets in her office in Simi Valley. So we had to drive to Simi Valley to go get the tickets, and then after that, she realized she forgot to leave keys with her brother, so we had to drive all the way to Inglewood. And so then after that, we were able to take off for Stagecoach. By this point, I was so tired. I think I opened that morning at work, so I worked 4:30 to 1. I didn't take a nap because I was packing as soon as I got home that day, and then I just took off to my friend's house and we were chilling and having a drink at her place. I fell asleep in the car ride. We ended up getting there around like 1 in the morning. Oh, we ended up going to like this random liquor store that night because they wanted to have some drinks before going to bed, and I was like, you guys handle, because I didn't want any drinks at that point. I was like, I'm already ready to go to bed. And they were drinking like energy drinks, or not energy drinks. They were having like yerba mate and like a coffee or something. So they were like wired at 1 o'clock in the morning. So they were like, we need drinks so that we can like settle down and like go to sleep. And I was like, fine, I'll go with you guys, but I'm not getting anything. So we went out to get some stuff. I ended up getting some like Mexican candy that was like so good. And then they got whiskey or something, I don't know. They were up until like 4 in the morning, I think, talking, and I was like passed out. And then we ended up all getting up at like 7:30. We all always get up early for work on a daily basis, so our internal clocks would just wake us up really early. So I woke up around 7:30. I started making coffee for everybody, and then we decided to go grocery shopping for the weekend. So we bought all the essentials. Of course, we bought a bunch of beer and cider and alcohol and liquor and the essentials, right, for when you're going to a festival and you're on a vacation, basically. Sarcasm, you don't need all that stuff to have fun. And then we also bought food. We bought like pancake stuff, eggs, bacon, juice, ton of water. Come here, look at this little fella. Oh my goodness, you're so cute. His name is Ziggy. Look at how cute he is. The little zigs. Little zigs. Oh, you're so precious. Okay, so that was Friday. We finished getting all of our groceries and stuff, and then we went back to the hotel that we were staying at, and we started getting ready. We ended up getting to the festival at around 2 or 3 that day. And then as we were going in, I kid you not, there were already people like sloppy drunk going into the festival, like throwing up, couldn't even walk, and I was like, oh god, like that's not good. Nobody wants that. Of course, we did take a couple shots and we had some drinks before we left and went in because obviously you can't bring stuff in. And I ended up the first day like feeling, I was taking it all in, right? I have never been to anything like this before. I was taking it all in and I started to feel like I was getting heat stroke or something. Like, it was so hot that day. It was the hottest day was on Friday and there was no breeze at all. I'm just not used to that kind of heat. I don't like to be outside. I don't really like to be out in the sun, at least. I definitely prefer colder weather. Yeah, we set up camp and I started feeling a little bit sick. I was like, I want to go walk around. So we went into like this colorful like tower that they had. I'll definitely insert some pictures for you guys so you can see them. So I went in there because they had some air conditioner and I was drinking a ton of water, but the heat was just really getting to me. I wasn't feeling good. And then after we went through there, I decided, I was like, maybe I should eat something because I haven't really eaten much today. I made the mistake of not eating much that morning because I was like, oh, I'm not that hungry, I don't want to eat. But like, if I could give you guys any advice for these festivals, definitely eat food in the morning before you go to the festival, especially because you're gonna be out in the sun all the time. So I bought like 2 trays of fries and I just like went in on them and I started eating them. And when I started eating them, I was getting lightheaded, so I knew that like my body was hungry and then the heat was not helping. So after I had some fries and I just chilled and had a lot of water, I felt much better by like 6 o'clock maybe. And then this whole time, right, MannyMUA was going to be at Stagecoach and I'm like trying to keep up with him on Twitter and Snapchat and see where he's at. He was coming with Laura Lee and they were gonna be there with Estee Lauder. So as we were walking around, I was like, oh, I found the Estee Lauder booth, I wanted to check it out. So I was gonna go in and the security guy was like, oh, I'm sorry, it's closed for the night, there's an event. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. So I just like kept like hoping while I was watching music that I would like turn around and see Manny, but of course that never happened. And then it started getting dark and I was like, oh, it's not gonna happen today. Like, it's already dark. Like, I'm not gonna find him now. It's too late. And I was like, but that's fine. He's gonna be here all weekend. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll try then. I decided to leave a little early with one of the other girls. She was really tired and she wanted to leave. So this was at the point when Florida Georgia Line came on and I really like their stuff. I'm like 50-50 on their stuff. I like some of it and I don't like some of the others. So they came on and they played a few songs and I was like, okay, Holly, we can take off. I don't mind. I'm pretty tired too and I want to beat the crowd because the crowd when you're leaving is insane. I ended up taking off. We went to the bathroom and we got lost a little bit, and on our way out, we were walking and I saw this girl with like blonde hair and like super long, up high in a ponytail. And then I saw a guy standing next to her with a red bandana and a white t-shirt. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Manny and Laura are literally right in front of me. They were walking like 5 feet in front of me. And I was telling my friend, I was like, oh my God, that's him. That's Manny. He's right in front of us. And she was like, oh my God, it is. She was like, go say hi. And so I just like went up behind them and I was like, Manny and Laura, and they turned around and they were like, hey. And I was like, oh my God, I did not want to meet you guys this way. I already took my lashes off, my makeup is a mess. And like they were laughing hysterically and they were like, no, your makeup looks fine. They were so sweet. They were the sweetest. And so we were just talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about at this point because like adrenaline and like all the feelings of finally meeting them. They were like, oh, you want to take a picture? And I was like, yeah, of course. And so we waited till we got some like good lighting. I'll insert the pictures of us on here, but if you don't follow me on Instagram, it is posted on Instagram. But they were so sweet. And of course I couldn't say everything I wanted to say to them. Like I wanted to be like, you guys inspired me to start my own channel. Like Manny has, I'm pretty sure he has his bachelor's degree. And then he went like a completely different way and started doing YouTube and beauty stuff, and like that's exactly what I'm doing now. I have a degree that pertains nothing to what I'm doing now, which is okay. It's not a bad thing, but like I wish I could have said all of these things to him because he has been a pretty big inspiration to me before I even started my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get to say all those things, but I did get to meet him, so that's totally fine. He tweeted back to me when I posted the picture the next day, and he's just a super nice guy. He's the exact same way on camera as he is in person. So if you guys ever run into him, he's super sweet. I would definitely say hi. Same as Laura. Laura is so sweet. Same old sort of country accent in person. But yeah, so that happened the first night, right? And I was like, okay, if this is any indication of how this weekend's gonna go, this weekend's gonna be amazing. So I was like, I was like, the universe is amazing. Like I kept wanting to meet Manny and I met him. Like how random is that? I left the festival early that night to beat the crowd, and then they were in that crowd right in front of me, and like it was meant to be. Florida Georgia Line was actually singing that song as I met them, the Meant to Be song. So I don't know. The universe. The universe works in mysterious ways, okay? But I'm all for it. Okay, so Friday night is a wrap, right? Or I'm at the hotel and I'm going to bed, and then the next day on Saturday, he just wants to play. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm getting sick, if you can't tell. Saturday comes around 10, 11-ish. All the girls and I, there's like 3 other girls with us now at this point, 3 or 4. And we all decide to go to the pool. There's a thing called the Lazy River at the place we were staying at, where it's just like a circle, like a circular-ish pool that like floats you in a certain direction. Like you don't even have to move or do anything. You'll just float around in a circle. So we did that. We took some champagne with us and it was super relaxing. So at that time, at like 10 or 11 in the morning, we already started drinking for the day. And then around 12, we went back to the hotel and we started getting ready. I was helping everybody with their makeup because I mean, I had to. I love it. And they wanted me to help them. So I went ahead and did that. And we were still drinking there. We were having some beers. We took a couple of shots before we left. And we took off to the festival. On this day, we were drinking a bunch. Like I was drinking margaritas and beers, and I was taking shots by the end of the night and having more beer. What's wrong? Okay, so middle of the day or like later in the day when we got to the festival, we saw Walker Hayes. That's the person we wanted to see first that day, which he was on at like 3 o'clock or so, or 3:30, 3:45, somewhere around there. And after he played, I took my friend Alyssa to the Estee Lauder booth because, oh, sorry, he's climbing up on me. Because I wanted to go see if Manny was there just so I could have like an actual conversation with him and like really like tell him what I wanted to tell him when I met him the night before. So we went, we stood in line. There was a line out the door. It wasn't too bad though. I met some girls in line. I gave them my card and we were just waiting to get inside. And inside the Estee Lauder booth tent thing, they were matching you as you went in to their double wear foundation, which I always wear. And they matched me to Tawny. I was pretty dark. I got a spray tan. It's like slowly starting to come off. You can see it's like disgusting. But they matched me to Tawny, and so they fixed up my makeup and put on some of the Heat Wave highlighter on me. And then you got to play some games. So you got a chip, a poker chip, and put it in the place of whatever foundation shade you were. And then they spun like the spinner and there was a ball on it, and wherever it landed, if it landed on your shade, then you won the foundation bottle for free. I unfortunately did not win the foundation bottle for free, which is totally fine. But when I didn't win the foundation, they gave me a free lipstick. This is the Pure Color Love lipstick in the shade Naked City. That's what I put on my lips at the beginning of this video because I thought I'm gonna be talking about it anyway, so why not? This is a really pretty, just like everyday nude. It's super comfortable. I'm not a fan of like the applicator though. I don't like it, but it works and it's a pretty color and it's comfortable on the lips. So I won a couple of these actually. So after you did that for the foundation, there was a line to get into like a photo booth area to meet Manny and Laura. They were there. They were like 5 feet from me again. And then of course this time I wasn't freaking out because I had seen them the night before, but there was a line to see them. And there was also those like, I don't know what they're called. You know when you go to like Vegas, there's like 3 rows of pictures and you pull the lever and like each one spins and you have to match the pictures in order to win. So if you matched none of them, you didn't win anything. And if you matched 2 of them, then you won more lipstick. So I ended up winning another lipstick. They did have more than one color, but I grabbed the nudes because the other one was a red. So I grabbed that, and then if you won 3 in a row, you won the Estee Lauder Heat Wave highlighter. So I just kept playing with it. Like they didn't limit you to only play once. So I just kept going for it while we were waiting in line because it was right next to us. And I kept getting the 2 in a row, and then I got 0 in a row. And then finally I was like, oh, nobody's using the one next to me. So I pulled the lever on that one and I matched 3 in a row. And the girl was like, hey, yeah, like you won. And she gave me the box, and I didn't even know what it was at first because I didn't know that that's what the prize was. But I was like, hey, so how do I buy like the foundation and like the highlighter if I wanted to get it? And she was like, oh, well, you just won the highlighter. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, you won the Heat Wave highlighter. And she like started ringing this bell, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. You guys, this highlighter is like $40 or around there in price, and I was going to buy it, but I ended up winning it. So if you guys haven't seen it, this is what the highlighter looks like. Again, I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. This is the Heat Wave highlighter. It is what I have on today. I've been wearing it ever since. So yeah, I won the highlighter and the lipstick, and I was like, okay, I'm happy. Now let's just stay in line. I don't need to win any more things and be greedy. So we were waiting in line, me and my friend, and all of a sudden, Manny and Laura are leaving, and they were like, oh no, we're just going on a bathroom break. And they were probably saying that because if they said they weren't coming back, it would have caused like a whole riot, and of course that's not what they want. So they were like, oh yeah, we'll be right back, we just have to go to like on a bathroom break. But after they left, we were waiting for like 5 minutes, like everybody in line, and then the guy who was running the photo booth was like, hey guys, sorry, but they're not coming back. And everybody was like, what? Like, you said that they were coming back, like they were just going on a bathroom break. And then he was like, I'm so sorry, but I'm here if you want to take any photos. And so my friend and I took some photos with him. I'll also insert that here for you. And then I ended up giving him my card with all my information, and he ended up messaging me on Instagram so that we could hang out that night. And of course, I have a boyfriend, so I got a hold of him for my friend that I was with. So we met up with him after he got off work and wasn't working the booth anymore, and we got some drinks, and I was talking to him about like how he got involved with Estee Lauder, because he gave me the impression that he worked for Estee Lauder because he was there with them. And so I was like, hey, so if I wanted to like come and like volunteer my time or something on tomorrow, which was Sunday, like would that be possible? Could you get me in? And he was like, yeah, totally. I think I could like get you a t-shirt and you could volunteer your time. Like obviously it would be totally free. And I was like, no, that's fine. Like I'll get to network and talk with people and like get involved. I don't mind at all. And so yeah, come in on Sunday at this time and I'll get you in. And I was like, okay, cool. And because I was like drunk by this time, I kept asking him all these questions, and I kept being like in his face about it. And every time I asked him a question, he would change the subject. And so I would go back onto the subject. And then finally he was like, okay, look, I don't work for Estee Lauder. I can't get you into the company, but I can like get you in there and you can volunteer and then you can work your way in there. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you could have just said that to begin with. And he was like, I don't know how you're not as far in your career as you want to be because you are so persistent. And I was like, well, you led me on to believe that you worked for Estee Lauder, so whose fault is that? But anyways, it was totally fine. We all had a good night together, and then the next day I did not go volunteer my time because, well, I had a little bit too much to drink on Saturday and I didn't feel good on Sunday. So Saturday we were all hanging out together, and then I met some friends at the bar, and I was literally handing my card out to everybody that I could. Like I was like, hey, do you watch YouTube? Like I have a YouTube channel. If you want to follow me, I do makeup stuff. I met another girl who was looking for a makeup artist for an engagement shoot that she's going to be doing within the next year. I was going into bathrooms and just like yelling and asking if anybody watched YouTube channels. I was being a little obnoxious, but hey, if you don't own what you do, then you're never going to get anywhere, right? So I just went full force into it, and I was like giving my card out to everybody that I could. Met some cool people. Heard Keith Urban, is that his name? Keith Urban that night, right? That's his name. Keith Urban was the headliner that night, and I don't remember seeing him, but I definitely heard him. And the end of that night was pretty fun. We went back to the hotel after the concert was over around midnight or so. I was awake for maybe like half an hour when we got back to the hotel, and then I passed out. Woke up on Sunday and I was not having it on Sunday. I did not feel good. I drank way too much. I was trying to feel better. I was drinking a ton of water. I had watermelon to help cleanse out my system, and I was also having like a lot of social anxiety. Like everybody went to the pool that morning and I didn't want to go. I ended up like sleeping off more of the hangover so that I would hopefully feel better later in the day for when we went to the festival. So I slept, and then I woke up and I was eating some more, drinking a ton of water. I still wasn't feeling the best, and then all the girls came back and they're like, oh, we met some guys at the pool, they want to hang out later. And I was like, oh, okay. But like I said, I was having like some social anxiety. I didn't want to be around anybody. Wasn't even sure that I wanted to go to the festival, but I was like, I have to go. Like I paid for it and I only want to see a couple people, so I'll just go see them and then I'll come back. Like, it's not a big deal. I was in a funk that whole day. I'm the type of person that likes to have like my own time. Like when I'm here at home, I'm in my room and my door's closed, and that's just how I like to be. So being around a ton of people for 2 days was just a little much for me. So Sunday came around and I was like, I was not feeling comfortable. We took off for the festival and we got there in time to see Kane Brown, because that's one of the artists that I wanted to see that night. It was gonna be Kane Brown and Brett Young, I think. Definitely Kane Brown is the one that I wanted to see first. So we got there just as he was starting his set, and we met up with this one guy that one of the girls that I was with was hanging out with all weekend, and we got along all weekend, right? And then he said something really rude to me, or what I thought was rude, and literally it was kind of just like the cherry on top of a bad day, and I couldn't stop crying. I don't know why. I was already just like, I didn't want to be there, and then this guy said something to me and I just like completely lost it. So I didn't want to be around him. I wanted nothing to do with that whole situation. And I ended up getting a drink, even though I was still hungover and I said I wasn't going to drink. I was like, I just need one to take the edge off a little bit. And then I was like, I'll stay for the last person who's going to be playing, because that's who I wanted to see. And then I'm going to take off because I don't want to be here anyways. So I ended up walking around with one of my other friends, and the guy that she was talking to. I was standing in the crowd, like not even in the crowd, like off to the side. And this guy who was like straight up in his own world, like he was on something, probably in his 30s, he walked right into me, like straight on, and like wasn't gonna say anything, as if I wasn't even standing there. And I was like, hello? And he looked at me and he was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, thank you. Like, hello, what are you doing? He went off and was trying to dance with all these girls and just trying to talk to people. And like, obviously you could tell he just like, he wasn't all there. Like he was either like really drunk or on some sort of drugs. But still, I don't know. That pissed me off too, because like, hello, personal space. Everybody who was there who like might have bumped into me was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it's like, it's fine, you know, like it happens. We're at a festival. But this guy just like straight up rammed into me and wasn't gonna say anything. And I wasn't having it that day. So I called him out. So then after that, I had my drink, right? And then me and my friend and that guy went to this like little room called the Honky Tonk, I think it was called. And everybody in there was like line dancing or square dancing, and it was so cool to see. I don't know how to dance like that, so that was really fun. And then after that, I was like, okay, you guys, I'm gonna take off. Like I just don't want to be here anymore, but I hope you guys have a great time. I'll see you guys later. So that was basically it. That was all Stagecoach. I took off. Some things went down after I left, which I would have just stayed a little bit longer so that I could have been there for my friends, but I think everything worked out how it was supposed to, and now I'm here. I'm home, adjusting to my everyday life again. I had an epiphany. I swear to you guys, I had an epiphany about what I'm doing with my life when I came back. And so I think I'm going to be changing things up in my personal life. Not here on YouTube. I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing here, but I want to explore and do other things with my makeup stuff and just push myself a little bit more, because honestly, I'm not going to get anywhere if I just don't do anything, you know? So I'm going to really push myself and get myself out there, try not to be so afraid of failing, and just say F it and just go for it. Because otherwise I'm gonna be stuck doing the same things every day and I'm not gonna be happy, and you know, nobody wants to live like that. I don't want to live life thinking what if. So I'm really glad I went to Stagecoach this weekend. It was a lot of fun. It was my first ever festival and I couldn't be more happy with that festival. I think it was amazing. So I will get back to regular weekly videos starting next week. I again apologize that I didn't have one last week for you guys, and that this one is not really a makeup related video, but I hope it was enjoyable to watch. Oh my god, I can't even talk. I'm getting sick, so bear with me if next week's video is a little off also. I'm gonna try my best to get some good content out. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. Also, go check out my Instagram and follow me on there, because I swear my Instagram has just like plateaued and my YouTube keeps on growing like every day without me doing anything. So check out my Instagram if you haven't and go follow me on there. And yeah, I guess that's all, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye.